Hello and welcome to That Shooting Show. My name's Steve Anderson. I am your humble host. Want to let you know we are a proud service of Walther Firearms, the home of the industry. Money day back guarantee, 30 days. If you don't love your PDP, they will take it back. No questions asked of thee. It's really that simple. You get a Walther competition firearm. Obviously, you can't get the nickel-plated, gold-engraved PPK James Bond Spy Special for 30-day money-back guarantee. But any of the competition-appropriate firearms that Walther sells, they will give you a money-back guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, it's probably your fault, but be that as it may, they will take it back anyway. So we'll check out a Walther PDP. I think the greatest thing about it is the grip fits the human hand. Again, I was never that picky. I was never one of these guys that says, "Oh, it doesn't fit my hand quite right." Well, that's fine. And that can be worked around, right? The Glock is kind of a 2x4, and if you like a 2x4, the Glock's a great choice for a 2x4 liker. But if you want something that fits the human hand, the Walther is the one. They also have the F series that is designed for ladies. Maybe a lady needs a slightly smaller grip, maybe she doesn't, but that's another option that you have got. So go check out a Walther, namely the PDP. Also want to remind you that Targets USA manufactures the finest gun handling, that's not right, the finest steel targetry on the planet, portable, affordable, and is the best steel targetry on the planet. The Rhino Knockdown will revolutionize your steel practice. It's the scoring zone of a mini popper. Fits on a nice little wooden 2x4 stand on top of a little tripod. Fits in the trunk of your Subaru, no problem. Very, very easy to take to the range. Very easy to reset. Also want to let you know that CR Speed manufactures the finest gun handling gadgetry you can wrap around your waist or anywhere else. I remember the first time I took my CR Speed rig out to my in-laws' house. These are the Dicks, the very famous Dicks. My sister's wife, her last name is Dick, so family album, Dick Pics. Thanksgiving, we have dictators, things of that nature. It's not a dirty joke because it's real, right? So, but the first time I took it out there, my brother-in-law, very, very large man, just think the man who should have been cast as Jack Reacher. That's my brother-in-law, Dave Dick. He said, "What does that do? Go around a 5-gallon bucket?" No, Dave, it goes around a normal person's waist. But if you want to wrap it around a 5-gallon bucket, you certainly can. Either way, it's the finest gun handling gadgetry you can wrap around your waist or anywhere else. The AMG-Lab.com Commanderson timer continues to turn heads and blow minds by putting the time into the tablet. Just go check it out. It'll revolutionize the way you use a timer. If you want it to pick up the dry fire click, you can do that. I have never found that to be a big deal. I've always used, visual information to determine whether I made the par time or not. But if you need the timer to pick up the click, the AMG-Lab.com Commanderson timer will do that. And as you can see on the YouTube, if you're YouTubing, Hunter's HD Gold is the only eyewear that I wear, and I are wearing it right now. I probably spend 95% of my waking hours looking through Hunter's HD. Wouldn't change it for anything else. The vision is clear. The light is softer. I remember one time I had my contacts and I was watching TV, and I was like, why does this look so weird? And then I realized that most of my TV watching is done through the Hunter's HD Gold. Wouldn't have it any other way. And of course, OutdoorDynamics.net remanufactures the finest competition ammunition you can dispense from a Freedom Seed dispenser. If you get tired of pulling the handle, John will do it for you. It's as simple as that. And if you're shooting regular factory ammo, if you're shooting the Winchester White Box or any kind of 115 factory, you are enduring probably 25 to 30% more recoil than you have to in a minor power factor environment. It makes shot calling much, much easier when you slow that slide down. When you got the slide moving really quickly, it's kind of hard to see it lift. It might just disappear. But with a 147 grain Librarian, it's very easy to see the sight lift much, much easier. So calling your shots will be much, much easier in that environment versus your normal super spicy ammo. I'm just saying, try it. He'll probably sell you a handful. If you email him and say, hey, I heard Anderson jabbing about these bullets, I want to give him a shot, I'm quite certain that he'll send you a sample pack of some kind. And of course, Shooting Sports Innovations is not only the official roadside sobriety test for North Carolina, but when you finally get done typing and retyping and backspacing and fat thumbing and all the rest of it, you'll be treated to a vast array of a cornucopia of shooting sports accessories that you didn't even know that you needed. Some very, very cool stuff, so go check it out. And speaking of cool stuff you should go check out, we're doing free mental management previews. The one for April is sold out. The one in May still has a couple of spots, and we'll be adding another one very soon. If you've been hearing about mental management, but you're not really sure, pardon me, what it's all about, come check out the free preview, and we'll tell you what it's all about, and you can ask questions at the end. So the biggest question is, if your shooting game is 75% mental, what percentage of your time and money are you spending improving it? Okay. If you think about your shooting budget, your annual shooting budget, and don't say it out loud because your spouse might be listening. Okay. But if you think about that number and the mental game is bothering you, or you've identified that, hey, this mental game is a big deal, 60, 70, 80%. What percentage of your shooting budget are you spending solving that problem? I made the same mistake. I was probably spending 10 grand a year easy on shooting. Easy, probably more than that. The first year I know how much I spent, and it was way more than 10 grand. And I would not give Laney Basham $500 to solve the biggest problem that I had. So I invented a ruse to ask him the question I really wanted. When I interviewed him for my second book, Principles of Performance, also known as Steve Anderson's second book, also known as The One Nobody Buys, it was a ruse. I didn't want to pay him to answer the question, but I figured if I interviewed him for the book, he'd answer the question, and he did. So my question to you is, you could do a ruse and interview me for your podcast. I'll answer the question. Or you could pony up a tiny amount of your annual shooting budget and know this information now. I got an email from a guy who just did the class, finished the class last night. He said, I wish I had had this information 51 years ago. So don't wait 51 years. Get this information now, solve the mental problem, and finally live up to your potential. All right, also want to remind you, we're going to be in Bend, Oregon here in about a month or so. You can go to andersonshooting.com, click on upcoming classes to see that and everything else that we're doing. Also have a mental management scheduled for 6 p.m. April 25, 26, and 27. That's also available at andersonshooting.com, upcoming classes. And speaking of upcoming things we're going to do, I had a crazy idea yesterday while seated on the throne of contemplation. What we're going to do is I need a C-class limited shooter who's listening to this program who wants to be a grandmaster. So if you're a C-class shooter who wants to be a grandmaster, I have a treat for you. We are going to put you in touch with a recently anointed limited grandmaster, and we're going to talk about how to get from C to G. So if you're a C-class limited shooter and you want to get to grandmaster, I need you to email me, steve@andersonshooting.com ASAP, so we can get that scheduled and get that information from a newly anointed, freshly crowned, still in short shorts like a little kid, limited grandmaster. You might know who that is. So I got a letter last night via the website, and it really got my attention. And I'm not sure if it's a serious question or if it's an internet troll or I don't know. But the question was very simply, why should I pay you $500 for a shooting class? And the last sort of snarky letter we got turned into a t-shirt. The last snarky letter we got said, I can't listen to your show. Between the Van Halen, the music breaks, the dog noise, and the fake laughter at your own jokes, there's only about 15 minutes of actual content, mostly about the mental game. So, yeah, guilty as charged. We immortalized that on a t-shirt, and we're hoping to use this next semi-snarky letter for another great podcast. So, why should you pay me $500 for a shooting class? Well, I'm going to tell you. Number one, my specialty is saving shooters years of struggle. Years. If you're new in the game, you may not want to spend 5 years screwing around. If you're getting into the game a little later, maybe you're 50, maybe you're 60, you don't have 5 or 10 years to screw around. So my specialty is saving you years of struggle. Number one, you may not know good advice from bad advice. There's a lot of well-intentioned advice out there that is not particularly helpful. Here's some examples. Oh, okay, you need to slow down and get your hits. It's very well-intentioned and not very smart. Okay, you're shooting too many alphas. Time to speed up and shoot more Charlies. Once again, very well-intentioned, not very smart. Well, this one here is a speed stage, and the one over there is an accuracy stage. So here you're going to put the hammer down. Over there, you got to get your hits. Okay, very well-intentioned, not very smart. This is one of my all-time favorites. We see this on the social medias, the grams and the books. We don't do the TikToks, but if technology forces us to do some TikToking, then we'll get rocking on the TikToking. But here's one you see on the internet all the time. The key to this stage was going 1-for-1 on steel. Well, I would hazard and venture that if there is steel on a stage, the key to success on that stage is always going to be going 1-for-1 on steel. And this quote was originally attributed to Max Michel. Somebody asked him about it and he attributed it to somebody else. It doesn't really matter who it's attributed to. Control the steel, control the match. Every piece of steel in a match could be potentially a full second added to your time. If you miss it, an uncalled makeup, a dirt makeup, didn't hear it ring, didn't see it fall, whatever it is. So if there's 30 pieces of steel in a match, that's potentially 30 seconds gained or lost by calling the shot, getting it right the first time, as opposed to sending a dirt makeup or not seeing it fall or whatever else, right? Here's another one we heard just yesterday. What you got to do is come out about 85%, and then once your competition gets lazy, that's when you hit the gas. Okay, well, what if the big stage is the first one? What if the first stage is the big, high pointer, the 150 pointer? You want to be 85% for the big stage? Well, this here's a high hit factor, so you can just spray some Charlies. Okay, well, anybody who goes out trying to spray Charlies is going to wind up with deltas and mics. It's as simple as that. So we're going to save you years of struggle by cutting through all this bad advice and giving you great advice. Number 2, you will learn match mode. Match mode is the key to getting your current level of skill on demand. There's nothing worse, and a lot of you guys have been there in the past. Most of you folks that have been listening for a while are not there anymore, but everybody's been there. There's nothing worse than going out and not getting your current level of skill at matches. And practicing more won't solve this problem and could, in fact, make it worse. If you've ever practiced more and shot worse, I know exactly why that's happening. I know exactly how to fix it. I know exactly how to prevent it. Okay? This is all done through the lens of mental management. I was personally trained by a guy who won the Olympics, came back from a silver medal with a disappointing mental game, came back the following Olympics and got a gold medal. The gentleman that figured out how to do that personally trained me on how he did it, and I can show you how to do it. It's as simple as that. Number 3, you'll learn why you're getting beat by 2 to 4 seconds per stage. I remember after probably my second nationals, I was sort of very results oriented and didn't have a great performance at that match. But I remember, I think I know who it was, but I don't want to say in case I get it wrong. One of the prominent gunsmiths did a spreadsheet on the stages and was kind enough to send it to me. We were talking back and forth. I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I don't want to say in case I get it wrong. And the spreadsheet, his conclusion was, you got to get faster. Well, that was confusing to me because I felt like I was already running fast and shooting fast. And I was. I was running fast and shooting fast. But running fast and shooting fast will only get you to the middle of the pack. And even more confusingly, it could make you the local hot dog. Depending on the heat of the wiener water and the steaminess of the buns in your particular hot dog area, you could run fast and shoot fast to be the local hot dog. That's what I was doing. But it won't get you any further than that. And when you go to state matches, area matches, national matches, you won't be able to figure out why you're getting beat 2 to 4 seconds per stage. I have figured it out. I know what it is, and I can show it to you. I've got 3 skills we're going to show you in this class that will shave easy seconds on your run without damaging accuracy. It'll actually improve your accuracy, and it has no component of youth or physical fitness. None. Right? We're going to show you how to get an average of 30% off of your transitions and your basic movement skills. Some of these will be cut in half. Transitions is usually the second biggest number on the stage. Periods of movement with non-shooting will usually be the largest number, and transitions will be the second biggest number. The last number will be draw to first shot, typically, give or take. And then the smallest number will be splits, the vast majority of the time. So if you're trying to get there with splits, you are risking the most for the least reward. We're going to show you 3 new skills that will take seconds off of your runs without risking damaging accuracy the way going for splits will. Okay? Number 5, you will learn to shoot partials and steal while moving. So I just want you to ask yourself right now, when was the last time you shot steal on the move? When was the last time you shot a partial on the move out to 8 yards or so? We're going to show you that you can do that. And we're not going to say you should do it every time, right? That's the biggest question. Well, let's see here. How can I tell between posting up and shooting fast versus staying moving and shooting slow? Well, that argument always makes the assumption that we can't shoot accurately while we're moving. And if that's the case, you have no choice but to post up. You can't do it. But every time we've tested this with somebody who can make the shots, shooting while moving was always quicker than posting up. Well, let's not say quicker because the shots weren't quicker. Let's say total time was less, which probably is quicker. At any rate, with anybody who could make the shots, every time we've tested it, staying moving was always quicker than stopping and posting up and continuing to run. I know it feels good to run fast, post up, and shoot fast. I get it. But that's one of the reasons you're getting beat by 2 to 4 seconds. Okay? And when we work on movement, age and physical fitness will not be a major factor except for the number of reps you're able to do. The techniques work for every single shooter. The only difference between older, less physically fit is they can't do 20 reps the way the ripped 25-year-old can. Right? That's the only difference. Now, unfortunately, the repetition is what makes it normal. When you first learn it, it's going to be a party trick. It's going to feel very unnatural. Some people physically, their brains won't let them do it because they're so used to having a perfect setup. But the only difference the physically fit and the young have is they can do 100 reps right in a row, whereas the older folks who aren't in great shape can't. And that's the biggest benefit of physical fitness is not so much speed, but endurance. Okay, endurance is the big deal for physical fitness. All right, number 6, you'll learn how to get naturally faster in dry fire so you don't have to try to go faster in matches. If you're watching Jay Beal on the Instagram and you are thinking, this is unhuman, this is not possible, you're right, for as long as you believe that. But the reason Jay can do the things that he can do is that he goes into dry fire and he drastically reduces his par times. I can currently do this thing in a second. I'm going to find a way to do it in 9/10 of a second. I can currently do this thing in 9/10 of a second. I'm going to find a way to do it in 8/10 of a second. So you pedal in dry fire so you can coast at the matches. And I do want to point out, he had a video yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, where he was transferring to the weak hand and pulling the trigger 7/10 of a second. I don't want to be an internet troll. I don't want to be that guy, but I must ask, hey, Jay, were you shooting a piece of steel, weak hand only, in less than a second? He's going to go out and do it now. God bless him. He normally stays away from my videos so he doesn't crush them, so I better not tease him so he doesn't go out and crush my videos, but that's okay. So, getting natural faster in dry fire so you don't have to go faster in live fire is the key to getting quick. What you got to do is take what's normal for you to do and change it. If it's normal for you to draw and shoot in 1.5 seconds, that's cool. We can get it down to 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. I can't tell you how many shooters have had personal bests. Well, I'll try. Let's just say that roughly 75% of the shooters that I have in classes achieve a personal best in speed in about 3 minutes. All right, we put a target really close. We do the David Lee Roth presentation. All right, here we go. We had a very, very close target. Tell me, what would you be happy with for a first shot? And they'll say, I don't know, mine are normally 1.2. Okay, 1.2 is all you want. Here we go. Tweak, 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 tweak. Boom, 105. All right, now what's the goal? Well, I've never done a 105 before. I don't know what's possible. All right, let's see a 99. Tweak, 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 tweak. Listen very carefully for the start tone, and here it goes. Beep, 0.99. I have actually been accused of using rigged timers because of the frequency at which people get exactly what they wanted, exactly what they predicted. Those of you that have been to class know. So many times the guy says, well, here comes a 99, and sure enough, right there on the mighty amg-lab.com Commanderson timer, 0.99. I've actually been accused of using rigged timers, and my response is always the same. This is the same timer that got your other stuff, and I have made no changes to it. If I did have a rigged timer, I could probably do even better, but of course I would never do that. All right, so learn to get naturally faster in dry fire so you don't need to try to go faster in matches. You'll also learn how to use speed mode in dry fire without damaging your match performance. Getting faster is going to mean accepting a little bit of slop in your sight picture short term while you get faster. As I've said numerous times, the key to this is knowing the difference between speed mode practice and match mode performance. That all goes back to match mode. Okay? But if you're not getting faster in training, you won't get faster in competition. And again, in training, we're going to pedal, 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 so you can coast at the match for 20 seconds at a time. Number 7, you will learn to call your shots, which is the most important skill you can have in shooting. You'll know if the shot was acceptable without looking at the target. You'll know whether you hit the steel without listening for it or watching it fall. You'll learn to fire instant makeups for questionable shots. So let's talk about that for a second. I would presume that most of the folks listening to this program know a questionable shot when the gun goes off. You either didn't see what you needed to see for a good shot, or you saw something questionable. The problem is you process that question mark when the gun goes off, and you think something's going to give you a good hit. We call it the ding fairy on steel, right? You put that gun up, sights over here, steel's over there, and you think, well, that was a terrible sight picture. I wonder if the steel's going to fall. Crazy. But if you see the sight lift off of the steel target, that will be a hit. And unless you're JJ Rakaza, you don't need to hang around and see if it falls. If you're JJ, you might want to take a second look. But learning to call your shots answers and eliminates the accuracy versus speed question forever. And that's another reason why you should come. If you're constantly choosing between accuracy and speed, accuracy and speed, accuracy and speed, you should do that in training. In training, you should choose between accuracy and speed. In competition, you should not. Because anytime you choose between accuracy and speed, you're going to choose the wrong one, and you're going to leave the other one available for your competitor to beat you with. It's just as simple as that. Shot calling answers and eliminates the question of accuracy versus speed forever. And when shot calling is fully surrendered to and is literally all you're doing, it actually makes you faster. I had a conversation with one of our insiders yesterday who said, I got obsessed with calling my shots and my times dropped. That's because when the mind gets hungry to see what it needs to see, it wants more of it. Right? When you go to the line and your only job is to call every shot, your brain wants that to happen as rapidly as possible. Okay? And that is what drives you to the next target. Good shot, good shot, good shot. Where's the next one? Good shot, good shot, good shot. Where's the next one? You combine that with a subconscious stage plan, man, you're like Miss Pac-Man gobbling up turbo speed. It's absolutely amazing. Shot calling is the only way to get faster and more accurate at the same time, but you're really not getting faster or more accurate. You're simply getting your current level of accuracy and your current level of speed, most of which people haven't experienced at the same time. But if you think about one of those runs you had that was truly effortless, probably happened when you weren't worried about results or you didn't care about results. You knew the stage inside and out, and your mind was pretty clear. We could say empty or we could say clear, but you weren't thinking about a whole lot of stuff. Your number of thoughts was very low, right? That's when you do your best shooting. And you were probably just following the gun around, watching it go off, and everything was good. We're going to show you how to get to that place and stay in that place. Okay. Number 8, perhaps most importantly, these classes that we do are more about learning how to practice effectively than they are do this, do that. There is a lot of do this, do that going on in there, but more importantly is what do you do after the class? If you come take the class, you will for sure have some aha moments and you'll for sure do a bunch of great party tricks. But if you stop there, you'll stop there. We're going to show you how to practice. You're going to enjoy better shooting with less time spent practicing. If you have a somewhat low level of participation, you like to shoot, you want to get better, but you're not willing or able to spend 30 or 40 minutes a day dry firing, I get it. That's totally fine. You've got that option. That choice belongs to you and you only. But you can shoot a whole lot better with a whole lot less practice if you'll understand and do a few things. We'll understand exactly how practice works in the lens of the mental game, and you'll avoid the common mistakes of practice. If you're practicing more and shooting worse, I know why, and I can help you prevent that. All right, a little bit more coffee here. It's pretty early, so we haven't, haven't made that critical switch from coffee to water yet. That's coming very soon. But if you think you practice to get better, you're half right and half wrong. The real reason that you need to be practicing is to make a high level of skill available without conscious thought. If you've not thought about practice that way, I need you to think about practice that way, right? A high level of skill available without conscious thought. And there's a mental game component that goes along to that a lot of people don't know, and we're going to show you what that is. How to manage the mental game while you're practicing is crucial to getting your best performance on demand. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get you a path to the next level that works as well as you are willing to work. If you come take a class and you don't do anything after that, that would not be smart. But if you're stuck where you're at and you're tired of it, we can absolutely get you up and out of that if you will follow through on the things we're asking you to do. There's probably 5 or 6 people that have done everything I've asked them to do or recommended that they do. Those people are reaching their goals and going wildly beyond them. There's a lot of people that do about half of what I recommend that they do. And they're getting about half the success they could be having. Okay, that's cool. You could do a little bit, you could do a little bit more, or you could do it all and you could get it all. We're going to get you a path to the next level that works as well as you are willing to work. And we do this inside the 3 modes of practice. The 3 modes of practice are accuracy, speed, and match. If you're trying in training to get faster and more accurate at the same time, you are wasting your time because that's not possible. It is not possible to get faster, to improve accuracy and speed at the same time in a short period of time. If you're willing to separate those for a short period of time, you can make massive gains in accuracy, massive gains in speed. And then match mode is the key to putting those together. And we'll show you how to do that. That is literally what saves you years of struggle. Getting more accurate over here, getting faster over here, learning using the mental game, mental management to put those two together without choosing one or the other one. That's our specialty here at AndersonShooting.com. Number 10, I care more about your success than anybody else out there doing this. Because I'm not currently competing, I care more about your shooting than I do my own shooting. Go try to find another top-level trainer that can say that. I care more about your shooting than I do about my own shooting. That wouldn't be possible if I was currently competing, right? If I was high-level carry optic shooter, high-level open shooter, and somebody's bumping up against me, would I really teach them how to beat me for $500? If I'm morally sound, I would. But a high-level competitor, giving classes, and you're right there. Hey, man, teach me how to beat you for $500. They probably won't do it. And the other thing about these classes is, it's just like mental management. There's probably only 20% of the people that go through mental management that do 100% of the program. And in these classes most people go to, right, most people will only do about 30% of that stuff. They'll do the parts that they like. Well, it's all super important, and you got to do all of it. So that's the biggest reason. I care more about your shooting than anybody else. I might care more about your success than you do at times. And that's why you should pay me $500 for a shooting class. I'll save you years of struggle, and I will not stop until the light bulb goes on. Okay? So if you want to get a free class in your area, all you have to do is arrange the range, go to the board of directors meeting, talk to the grumpy shotgun guys, and see if they'll let that happen. We do have our own insurance. We can make that happen, not a problem. And if you want me to do a class in your area, you just let me know, and we will work it out. So, hope you enjoyed today's program. Here on Friday, Darren Wood's already finished. Speaking of Darren Wood, he shot me a text message yesterday, the day before maybe, telling me that we did choose the ultimate clickbait. So I'm very pleased that future listening man enjoyed with the clickbait. And once again, we're looking for a C-class limited shooter who wants to get to the G. We're going to feature you on the podcast with a very special guest. So email me, steve@andersonshooting.com for that. And until we meet again, be like me, do what I do, say it with me. 1, 2, 3, get to work.